Have you ever asked yourself, was she really with me for love or was I just being used? It's a question that keeps men awake at night, replaying every moment, every smile, every kiss, wondering if it was all real or if it was just a game she played. Before we dive in, let me say this. What I'm about to share could completely change how you see relationships forever. That's why I encourage you, watch this video until the end, because these insights might just save you years of wasted time, heartbreak, and regret. And if you want to keep growing with Stoic wisdom applied to love, make sure you subscribe to this channel, like the video, and join a community of men who are learning to live with clarity, strength, and self-respect. Now, let's begin. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." And what is heartbreak if not the suffering that comes from confused thoughts? You thought she loved you. You thought she cared. But behind the smile there were signs, subtle, quiet signals that she was never truly yours. Today we're going to uncover those 6 signs, but we won't just list them, no. We'll walk through them with stories, reflections, and the lens of Stoic philosophy, so you never fall into the same trap again. Someone she took but rarely gave back. When you think about the last woman you gave your heart to, what memory comes up first? Is it a smile she gave you? A late-night conversation? Maybe the way she hugged you when you thought the world was falling apart? Now, let me ask you again. Do you remember how much you gave to her? The dinners you paid for? The hours you spent listening to her problems? The times you sacrificed your own needs just to make her happy? It's a beautiful thing when love flows both ways. But sometimes, painfully, we realize it was never love we were giving to. It was a bottomless cup. Think about it. Did you ever notice that you were always the one reaching out? Always the one planning the dates? Always the one asking, "Are you okay?" While deep down you were starving for her to ask you the same? Let me tell you a story. There was a man, let's call him Daniel. Daniel was deeply in love with a woman. Every Friday he would take her out. He'd spend hours choosing the perfect place, driving across town, paying for everything. She would smile, she would laugh, she would hold his hand, and Daniel thought this must be love. But here's the painful detail. Not once did she ever surprise him. Not once did she plan something for him. Not once did she say, "You've had a long week, let me take care of you." To her, love was receiving. To him, love was giving. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The value of a man is measured by what he gives, not what he receives." And while that's true, here's the mistake Daniel made. He gave endlessly to someone who never intended to give back. That's not love, that's slavery dressed up as romance. Now pause here for a moment. Ask yourself honestly, were you Daniel? Do you remember that moment when you stayed up till 3 a.m. just to listen to her cry about something at work? But the next night when you were exhausted, she told you she was too busy to talk? Do you remember saving up money to buy her something special? Just to see her face light up. But when your birthday came, she forgot? That ache in your chest, that quiet disappointment you swallowed, those were the signs. But you ignored them because you thought, if I give more, she'll love me more. But my friend, love doesn't work like that. When it's real, giving is mutual. It's not measured in money but in effort, in care, in presence. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. If her love was not true, no amount of your effort could make it real. So here's the test. In love, do you feel like water being poured into an endless desert, never to be returned? Or do you feel nourished like 2 rivers flowing into one? If the answer is the first, you already know the truth. She wasn't with you for love. She was with you for what you gave. And the moment you see it, you can never unsee it again. 2. Your emotions were one-sided. When you were with her, did you ever feel like you were walking on eggshells? Like you always had to manage her moods, but she never once cared to manage yours? Think back. How many times did you drop everything just to make her feel better? She had a bad day, you rushed over. She was upset, you canceled your plans. She was quiet, you sent 10 texts just to check in. Now, flip the story. When you were down, when you were silent, when you needed comfort, did she even notice? Or worse, did she tell you to stop overreacting? This, my friend, is one of the clearest signs of being used. Your emotions didn't matter. Let me share a story. There was a man named Amir. He was deeply devoted to his girlfriend. Every time she cried, he became her rock. He skipped meals to talk her through her fears. He left work early to drive across town when she said she couldn't be alone. But Amir had struggles too. He battled stress at his job. He sometimes lay awake at night, worried about bills, about his future, about whether he was even good enough. And when he tried to open up, do you know what she said? "You're just being negative. Don't bring me down with your problems." That broke him. Not because he expected her to solve everything, but because he realized she didn't care. His role was to heal her, but she would never be there to heal him. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." But here's the truth. Even the best man cannot make someone care if their heart is closed. Now let me turn this back to you. Did you ever feel this imbalance? Remember that time when you texted her, "I'm really stressed right now," and she left you on red? Or when you tried to explain how anxious you were, and she rolled her eyes, calling you too sensitive? Do you remember the sting you felt, not just from her words, but from the realization that you were alone in a relationship? Love is supposed to be a two-way exchange. When she's down, you lift her. When you're down, she lifts you. That's balance. That's partnership. But when the scales tip, when all the comfort, all the empathy, all the listening flows one way, you're no longer in a relationship. You're in an arrangement where one person takes and the other endlessly gives. And here's the thing most men ignore. Your emotions matter just as much as hers. Your pain is real. Your joy is real. Your heart is not a punching bag for someone else's moods. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If every day you're told your feelings don't matter, eventually you start believing it. You start dying inside slowly, convincing yourself you're too much. But the truth? You were never too much. You were simply with someone who was too little. So here's the lesson. If you ever find yourself in a love where your emotions are ignored, dismissed or belittled, recognize it for what it is. A one-sided bond, not love. 3. She kept you trapped in guilt. Have you ever been in a situation where no matter what you did for her, it was never enough? You gave your time, your money, your energy, your love, and still she found a way to make you feel like you were failing. Think carefully. Do you remember those conversations where instead of appreciation, you got accusations? You'd take her out and she'd say, "Why didn't you choose somewhere nicer?" You'd call her 3 times a day, and she'd say, "You don't call me enough." And worst of all, you'd give your very best, and she'd still find a way to twist it into guilt. This, my friend, is not love. It's manipulation. Let me tell you a story. There was a man named Samir. He was gentle, kind, and wanted nothing more than to make his girlfriend feel secure. Every day he sent her good morning texts. Every weekend he planned something special. He was consistent, dependable, and deeply loyal. But Samir noticed something strange. Whenever he said no to something, whether it was lending her money, skipping work, or canceling plans with his friends, she would turn cold. She would sulk. She would say things like, "If you loved me, you'd do this for me. I guess I don't mean that much to you after all. Other boyfriends do way more than you." And suddenly Samir felt guilty. He felt like he was failing her. He started doubting himself. He started working harder, giving more, bending further. But the truth was, her love wasn't growing. Her demands were, Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. When a woman keeps you trapped in guilt, she's trying to control what's outside, your behavior, your decisions, your freedom, by attacking what's inside, your mind, your conscience, your sense of duty. Now pause here and think of your own story. Do you remember the last time she said something that made you question whether you were doing enough? Do you remember canceling plans with your family or friends because she made you feel guilty for not choosing her every single time? Do you remember that hollow feeling that no matter how much you gave, she always shifted the goalpost? That's not love. Love does not demand through guilt. Love inspires through kindness. A woman who truly loves you will say, "Thank you for what you did, it means a lot." A woman who uses you will say, "You should have done more." And here's the dangerous part. Guilt eats you alive slowly. You start believing you're not good enough. You start thinking that maybe she's right. Maybe you do need to sacrifice more, give more, suffer more. But the Stoics remind us, suffering for truth makes you stronger, but suffering for lies destroys you. Marcus Aurelius said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." If you were doing everything out of love, and she still made you feel guilty, then it was neither right nor true, it was manipulation. So let me leave you with this. The moment you recognize guilt traps for what they are, you reclaim your freedom. You stop letting someone else use your kindness as a chain around your neck, because love is never built on guilt. It is built on gratitude. And if she couldn't give you that, she was never really there for love. 4. She avoided building a future with you. When you were with her, did you ever talk about the future? Not just the weekend, not just the next date, not just vague words like someday, pronto, but the real future. Where you'd live, how you'd grow, what dreams you'd chase together. And if you did, how did she react? Did she light up and imagine it with you? Or did she laugh it off, change the subject, or say, let's not talk about that now? This is one of the clearest signs a woman was using you. Because here's the truth. When a woman truly loves you, she naturally envisions her life tied to yours. She doesn't avoid the future, she craves it. Let me tell you a story. There was a man named Zayan. He had been with his girlfriend for almost 2 years. They shared countless dinners, late-night talks, even trips together. On the surface, it looked like love. One evening, during a quiet walk, Zayan asked her, "Where do you see us 5 years from now?" He expected a smile, a hopeful answer, maybe even a playful dream about marriage or family. But instead, she froze. She gave a nervous laugh and said, "Why are you rushing? Let's just enjoy what we have." At first, Zayan thought maybe she just wasn't ready for the conversation. But over time, he noticed a pattern. Every time he mentioned the future, whether it was moving in together, building a life, or even long-term plans, she brushed it aside. Yet when it came to her desires in the present, dinners, gifts, trips, she was eager, enthusiastic, and demanding. That's when it hit him. She loved the moment, not him. She loved the comfort, not the commitment. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good." What does that mean for love? It means life is too short to waste with someone who refuses to build. If she doesn't even want to imagine a future with you, then your present is already built on sand. Now pause here and reflect. Do you remember asking her about next year and she changed the subject? Do you remember hinting at marriage or building a home, and she brushed it off with, "We'll see"? Do you remember that small sting in your chest, the fear that maybe you were only temporary in her life? That feeling wasn't random. It was truth speaking. Because a woman who truly values you will dream with you. She will see herself in your future. She will ask about your goals, not to judge you, but because she wants to walk beside you as you chase them. But a woman who avoids the future, she's telling you, without words, that she doesn't plan to stay. So here's the lesson. Don't waste years waiting for someone who's only with you for today. The Stoics remind us, time is the most precious thing we own. If she won't build with you, build without her. 5. Her affection came with conditions. Let me ask you something. Did you ever feel like her love had a price tag? Like the warmth, the kisses, the affection only showed up when you did something for her. But the moment you stopped giving, her love vanished? If so, you weren't being loved. You were being rented. Think about it. True love doesn't come with conditions. It doesn't disappear the moment you fail to meet a demand. But when a woman is using you, her affection is transactional. It's a reward for services rendered, not a natural outpouring of the heart. Let me share a story. There was a man named Adil. He was crazy about his girlfriend. Every time she wanted something, a new phone, a vacation, even little things like late-night food deliveries, he jumped at the chance. And when he delivered, she lit up. She kissed him, hugged him, made him feel like he was her entire world. But the first time Adil said no, everything changed. She turned cold. She didn't text back for hours. She acted distant, even angry. He tried to ask what was wrong, and she said, "If you really cared about me, you wouldn't have refused." And that's when it clicked. Her love wasn't unconditional, it was conditional. Her affection was a switch she turned on and off depending on what he provided. Marcus Aurelius once said, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." Notice what he says, love is a privilege. It is not a weapon. It is not a bargaining chip. Now pause for a second and look back at your own memories. Do you remember buying her something special and feeling her affection pour out, only for it to fade days later? Do you remember the way she suddenly became sweet when she needed a favor, but once she got it, her warmth disappeared? Do you remember the quiet hurt? The thought in your chest, does she love me? Or does she just love what I do for her? That question right there, that doubt is the soul's way of telling you the truth. Because real love doesn't demand a price. Real love hugs you when you're broke. Real love listens to you when you're tired. Real love stands by you when you have nothing to give. When affection comes with conditions, it's not love, it's business. And you were the customer. Marcus Aurelius also said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Her affection wasn't right and it wasn't true. It was an illusion designed to keep you giving so she could keep taking. And here's the truth you must accept. Conditional love is no love at all. If you ever feel that her hugs, her kisses, her I love yous only arrive when you've paid the price, then my friend, she wasn't loving you, she was using you. The moment you realize that, you'll never mistake conditional affection for real love again. 6. You felt drained, not fulfilled. When you were with her, did you feel alive or did you feel empty? Close your eyes for a moment and think back. When she texted you, did your heart leap with excitement? Or did your stomach sink with dread? When you were around her, did you feel stronger, more confident, more at peace, or did you feel smaller, weaker, constantly questioning yourself? That's the difference between real love and being used. Real love fills you. False love drains you. Let me share a story. There was a man named Rehan. At the start of his relationship, everything felt magical. The laughter, the attention, the passion, it gave him energy. But slowly things changed. He noticed that every time he spent time with her, he left feeling exhausted. Not because of long conversations or late nights, but because she always demanded more. More time, more money, more emotional energy. If he didn't meet those demands, she grew cold. And when he did meet them, it was never enough. Rehan began losing himself. He stopped pursuing his hobbies. He distanced himself from friends. Even his work started to slip. And the irony? He thought it was all his fault. He told himself, "If I just give a little more, she'll finally be happy." But Marcus Aurelius warned us of this trap when he wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If your days are filled with confusion, guilt, and exhaustion, it's not because you're failing. It's because you're in the wrong place, with the wrong person. Now think of your own story. Do you remember that phase where you couldn't even recognize yourself anymore? You used to laugh easily, but now you carried constant tension. You used to wake up motivated, but now you woke up drained. You used to feel joy in giving, but now every gift felt like a debt. That's what happens when someone uses you. They don't just take your time or your money, they take your spirit. Slowly, piece by piece, until you're left wondering where the old you went. But here's the thing the Stoics remind us of. You can always reclaim yourself. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength, even if she drained you. You can decide right now that she won't drain another ounce. You can choose to walk away, to refill your soul with peace, purpose, and love that's real. Because here's the ultimate truth. Love is supposed to give life, not take it. If you felt drained instead of fulfilled, empty instead of complete, that wasn't love. That was a warning. And the moment you accept it, you step into freedom. Final reflection. Now, my friend, I want you to pause. Maybe as you listened, you thought of her. You saw her face. You remembered those moments. And maybe you felt that sting in your chest. The realization that yes, she was using you. But let me tell you this, that pain is not the end. It is the beginning. Marcus Aurelius never said life would be free of betrayal, or pain, or disappointment. What he did teach us is that our response, our growth, our strength, that is within our control. You cannot change the past. You cannot rewrite the story of what she did. But you can choose what happens now. You can walk forward with clarity. You can live with the dignity of a man who knows his worth. You can demand love that is real, and walk away from love that is false. And when you do, you become unshakable. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.